very close in actual last season stats. Everyone, I do believe, is either platinum or gold at the moment. So we should see a higher level of play. So these teams have been playing together now for a good couple of weeks. It just depends on who brings out the best strat for pushing and killing turrets and taking objectives to find out who's going to win. I think Oxygen really do need to stay away from a team fight. If they do get involved in a team fight and they're not prepared for it and they are equally as farmed, then Fire could literally turn around and obliterate Oxygen here. So I don't know. It's really hard to call. We'll just have to wait and see. So once Delirio gets his setup all working so he can actually spectate, we're going to have Delirio come in and shoutcasting with me as well, which also should be a bit of fun. But just waiting for the game to load. It looks as though everyone is at 100% apart from Smurf. That looks as though he's having issues. So we'll go and check that out in a second.
Yeah, as I can finally now see the team comps properly. Like you were saying, Team Fire, they'll be about the team fights. But I reckon Oxygen will just try to split push their way to victory.
Yeah, they might be looking for like some sort of a siege, maybe with that Elise and with the Caitlyn, also with the Zed and the pickup from the owner as well. More of a single target dive comp onto the Lucian. I think that's what they're going to go for in this actual team here. They're looking to catch Mecha out of position and actually just put him in a formidable place to kind of get caught and get crushed so he's nothing to do. But obviously Lucian does have a lot of natural escapes. He does have his dash that is on a good second cooldown. If he uses the culling as well, he can use another dash if he kills somebody. So, you know, there is a lot to take in from this as well. There's a lot of AoE in this game. There's a lot to take from it. So both teams need to play very, very cautiously in order to get the most out of it. So, but this game should be extremely tight. I'm looking to see big plays. I'm not looking to see throws. I'm looking to see confident team play and togetherness from both teams. And it should be a really, really, really good game. So it looks as though both teams are off the blocks really, really early. Remember, this is tournament mode, so if there is any problems, we are able to pause the game, just like we have done there. That was actually quite a good call. The game has been paused just for a couple of minutes, just while we sort out a couple of things. It will be resumed quite shortly, I hope. But yep, we can just simply just wait for them to unpause the game because this obviously is tournament draft. We want this game to be as fair as possible, as these are both teams that are our ranked teams and they both fly their colours under our banner, which is Solace. So we want this to be as fair as possible, so we're just waiting obviously for people to get in and actually check it out. As you can see, Denwei has actually just disconnected and reconnected again, so that was the problem. We'll just wait for him to be sorted and then we can get back into the game as well. Looks as though Oxygen are a little bit further out of their base just while we wait here for the game to be unpaused. So it looks as though they're going to be covering blue straight away. So it looks as though Oxygen's going to be covering blue. The game's just going to be unpaused now. Right, there we go. So that's that game sorted. So it's unpaused now. So looking into the game, so we can see that the Hecarim's moving up mid along with Lucian as well. And it looks as though Caitlyn and Elise are going for their blue buff. And it looks as though Zed and Renekton are going to be coming mid as well. Just trying to show their faces, obviously, to stop them from engaging. Here, looks as though there's going to be a very early push from Team Oxygen as well. They are going to try and push out as well. So they're going to try and get a trap down there from the Caitlyn. Renekton just covering the red rush there, just to make sure that it's obviously very, very nicely protected. A lot of pings there coming out from both teams. Looks as though there's going to be a ping onto a Lucian to back away from the Caitlyn. Zed and Caitlyn now in mid lane, looking to trap up mid lane a bit for the Zed. So if he does get a trap off, and it's good amounts of damage. Looks as though Mecha's going to come down and just me copy and paste here. They don't need to protect their red buff because obviously XM4 will start at blue. It looks like both junglers are going to start at blue as well. So we should look at a early game push up into top lane from the Oxygen team. So they should go top lane. Elise will go top lane at level 3, I'm guessing, after she gets blue and red. And the ping's going out there saying that there are cupcakes and assists coming into XM4 to actually just quickly assist with his blue buff. So looks as though there's 2 cupcakes in the mid lane and the game is about to start. So just while we sort that out, we're going to put the junglers in their respective positions. We're going to also have the mid and top lane there. And yep, that should be sorted. So we've got top, mid, jungle and carries and then supports at the frames there, so you can actually see what's going on. I will change it in without the gold counters to actually see, so we can see where the gold difference is. But you can actually see how people compare up to each other in their actual laning phase and when they come into team fights and their items and such. Looks as though a good little bit of aggressive damage there from Renekton at top lane. Shyvana just pulling away one CS, but it looks as though Orianna is taking an early lead and Team Fire are taking an early lead in CS, pulling up 100 gold lead already. Shyvana is going to get naturally bullied out here by Renekton, but Orianna can do a lot of damage to Zed early, as he doesn't have a lot of... He only has basically his poke, and she has a lot of auto attack. She does have the range on him, but he can actually sustain that damage by trading back as well. Looks as though Morgana's playing a little bit aggressively. She wants to try and get that Leona down a little bit. It's a great bit of engage here from Bloodshots. Goes into Smurf, who has to pull back off because he's taking a lot of damage. Looks as though Copy and Paste can't actually see Leona in the brush, but they are actually pucking. Leona has been seen in the brush, but going back up to top lane, Smurf is getting pushed back to his turret quite hard. He has to pot, and he's now going to start getting pushed in this early game. See, Bloodshot's just taking an early bit of tower damage there. Smurf just going for sustain. That's a great Dark Binding. Good bit of free damage onto Mecha, who gets trapped by a Cupcake, but that's okay. He's going to walk away from that. Hardly no damage initiated there. But it looks as though Leona has taken quite a bit of damage. So we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to actually happen here. So Leona has stolen 2 CS, obviously using her coin. She's got a coin. She's got a coin, so she hasn't got facing around. Smurf has been caught at top lane. Is he going to be able to get away from this? That is the question. He looks as though he does have flash. At least he's going to have to pull away. That's a great escape there from Smurf. Pulls away, but this is going to be 3 tower damage at top lane. Looks as though XM4 is trying to rush as quickly as possible, but no, decides he has to hold mid. So good early game aggression here from top lane. Smurf getting pushed back. XM4 with double buffs is only level 4, but he does have that double buff that gives him great sustainability against the mid lane champion, but Zed put in great amounts of poke onto as well. Looks as though bot lane is exceptionally close. At the moment, at 5 minutes in, there is nothing in it. There is literally nothing in it. Top lane for Fire is actually just a little bit behind right now. They're 17 to 23, so in Renekton's favour. So, and also to mid lane as well. But the jungler, XM4, is actually ahead, and the carries are together. So it looks as though very even. Bot lane's going to be a farm fest up until about 15-20 minutes, I'm probably guessing, unless junglers make more of an impact on bot lane. You see the poke there from Mecha as well, coming out with that binding. Morgana actually putting a nice bit of poke onto Leona there, trying to get her to auto-attack to get her away. Smurf's actually got top lane covered. It doesn't look as though Renekton's actually got a walled out here, so he's playing quite a little bit defensive now. Looks as though XM4 is just going to pick up more of his jungle to try and get ahead. Looks as though the Morgana just dodges the stun there. Mecha doing a lot of trade damage there onto the Morgana. Caitlyn does get caught, and there's the Ignite down, and First Blood goes onto the Caitlyn. And it looks as though they're going to chase the Leona, but they are going to back away. Mecha is low, so he has to walk away. But that's a great First Blood pickup. Great Dark Binding there from Copy and Paste. Caitlyn getting caught, and another Dark Binding there from Copy and Paste. Doing work at bot lane. Absolutely amazing stuff there. Picking up First Blood. And First Blood goes to Team Fire. But it looks as though Rocksteady's getting beaten on in mid, but he's gonna survive the Ignite tick, and he's just barely gonna get away from that Zed engage. Good use of ball there to bring her back onto the shield to get her comfortably back in lane. Looks as though Rocksteady's going to try and do as much damage onto the owner as possible, and Poke loses vision, but does obviously get a nice bit of damage off as well. Looks as though Mecha will get to level 6 much sooner than what Caitlyn will, but Leona will get to 6 much sooner than what bot lane will. So we have to see about that engage. That's a lot of damage coming in, and it looks as though Renekton's going to hit level 6. Here he comes in with his ultimate, and that's a flash. And it looks as though Smurf's going to tick, 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 but it's not going to be able to kill him because he's going to get away very, very fast. It has evened up at top lane. Renekton's probably going to pull ahead just a little bit. He's going to go for his Hydra first. He's probably going to be one of the top items there that Renekton uses in his early game. So he's obviously going to show signs of good aggression. Using 2 Doran Shield here from Smurf. I don't know whether that's a great idea because it does have a unique passive. But obviously he just wants to sustain and the health as well. But that is obviously quite a defensive build there, knowing that Renekton does have early game power. And Renekton's just going to use that against him. It looks as though Orianna, he's behind at mid on Zed as well. He has picked up that Brutalizer, which is a great spike in damage. Orianna having to build so defensively here. But XM4 is actually ahead of the Elise in gold and in items as well. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on there. Looks as though Smurf is actually going to try and engage on Bloodshots here. But packs away to try and get a bit more farm. He is 8 farm behind now. He's 8 CS behind. Just no Mekas, and that's a great guard binding as well. So another lot of damage. The turret is actually hitting a huge amounts of damage, but she's just going to walk away from that. Oh, and there comes the Cullen. But the dodges from the owner can't actually do enough there onto the Caitlyn as it is. Looks as though copy and paste is level 6, so he's going to look for an engage very soon. Smurf has come into level 6 now, and he is ahead of Bloodshots. He's going to start pulling this back now, and the lane will start really pushing in his favour. The damage there coming out onto copy and paste is huge, but does get this damage off there. That's a huge amount of damage onto, and this is the dive from the Smurf. Smurf has got the dive, and the ignite will tick away, and Bloodshots goes down, and the owner picks up to try and do as much damage as possible. But Mecha's trying to do as much damage as possible back at bot lane. It's extremely close at bot lane. Hecarim looks as though he's going to come storming in from the side here. It looks as though there's no wards. And here's the ghost from the Hecarim. Here's the damage. That is a double kill. See you later. Willie picks up one. He's going to pick up another here. Most definitely so, surely. XM4 picks up a double kill for SE Fire. Great play there coming in. Huge carry jungler from XM4. Props to him. That was a great engage. Knew that they had no vision at Tribush. Great play, but it looks as though he's going to have to try and do some damage here as Orianna is getting severely pushed at mid. She's going to need some help very soon because she is getting dominated at mid lane by this Zed. I thought that this was going to happen as Orianna is more of a support carry and needs a team there to do work, whereas Zed's more of an assassin-based champion. It looks as though Elise is going to try and come in and maybe pick something up here as well.
Orianna before.
Did actually walk away from that, saw the Elise come out and just walk away quite easily, trying to farm up as much as possible. Remember, Orianna needs items. Zed has already got that Bloodthirster, so he does have a lot of damage in his kit. He also does have Ignite as well, so a dive could be very imminent from mid lane. At top lane, Bloodshot is actually doing very well still versus Smurf, but Smurf does have a kill. He did get a dive there on top lane, so he is going to be naturally ahead. So good dark binding as well, but it's a great first dragon from XE Oxygen. They do pick that up at 10 minutes, so that will be respawning in 6 minutes. So that will be a 6-minute time there, so that will be 16:15. For Dragon there as well, but that obviously will come up. It looks as though Leona's done a lot of damage trying to get rid of that pink ward, but her ward will go down. She knows that that's there, but there's the damage there from Smurf taking a tower hit as well. But Bloodshot will have to walk back because he knows that Shyvana now, he's actually trying to outskate him very much, so he had to go back and get that Doran shield. Smurf is now pulling away in farm. He's done exceptionally well in lane. He stopped the level 3 assault and the gank as well from Renekton, which is actually quite a good thing. And their bot lane Mecha is just pulled away about 12 CS. He's got 3 assists, so he has got a lot of damage here over the Caitlyn. Obviously he does have that BF sword, which is a great spike in damage as well. Smurf showing a great bit of aggression there, whilst Bloodshot's just trying to do his best to farm at the moment. So looking at what's going on here. Looks as though Smurfy's actually going to try and push for the tower, but in comes the Ignite. I don't think that's going to be worth. Bloodshot's can actually keep up with the Night Ski, going to tick, and there goes the damage. It was okay though, because they try and got the tower out of that, so it was a half decent trade there, but it's never a great trade when you're going to lose straight away.